Oh, everybody's on?
We don't have everybody on, but it is 2:04.
Okay.
And so I think to be conscientious of everybody's time, it might be prudent to go ahead and begin.
Sure. So we'll call the meeting to order at 2:04. And first, I'd like to thank Karen Lee with IMC's Communications. She's the coordinator for helping us with this. Without her help, I don't think Camilla and I could have been able to pull it off. So thank you, Karen. And I would ask if our president, Mary Johnston, is on the call and would like to say a few words.
I don't see Miss Mary in the audience.
Okay, so we'll move on. If she sneaks in, let us know so we can recognize her and let her say a few words, if you will.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wanted to thank Camilla. As many of you know, I have been sick. I was diagnosed on May 15th with ovarian cancer, and I've kind of been missing in action ever since, trying to get all my chemo out the way and all that. I did hear from the doctor yesterday, and as of right now, I'm cancer-free, but I will have to take some sort of a hormone pill for the next 2 years. So even though my time will be up in May, I will try to be as committed to helping Camilla as we move forward henceforth. We would ask if you have any questions about whatever we're talking about, which is basically updating everybody on various items, that you hold them until we have a Q&A session. Also, the last thing is we'd like to keep the meeting at 30 minutes because we are aware that some of you do have meetings tonight and we don't want to take up too much of your time. So with that said, I'll turn the meeting over to Camilla to discuss mid-year meeting updates.
Thank you, Sonia. We wanted to go back to May for just a few minutes and update everyone from what's happened from May till November, when we actually conducted our IMC Board of Directors meeting. While we didn't have the annual conference, we still conducted our meetings on the regular day and time that we would have been doing it, but we conducted it by Zoom. So that was really interesting, but the process worked very well for us. And during the incoming board meeting, we conducted the oath of office for President Mary Johnston, and she's from Westerville, Ohio, President-elect Sherry Pierce of Valdez, Alaska, Vice President and our fellow Region 3 member who's online with us today, Pamela Smith. And Pamela was with Sanibel. She's now with Lee County. We're very proud to have one of our own on the executive committee. And immediate past President Lana McPherson of DeSoto, Kansas. Our mid-year meeting was recently conducted, and it was half and half, in person and on Zoom in Grand Rapids. And that is where our 75th anniversary annual conference is going to be in May. And Sonia and I wanted to provide you an update on what was discussed and the decisions made by the board of directors at that time. We just received word, and I know Sonia is going to give us a little bit of an update, but if you were online a few moments ago, Chris Shelby was online, and he advised us that we have currently reserved 120 hotel rooms to date, and we are very excited about that. That is a good sign for us, and I will tell you, while I was up there, the flight that I took was fabulous. Had no problems with that. Everyone very conscientious between the flight attendants and the crew, as well as those who were on the plane. And Grand Rapids was wonderful with the hotel, Amway Hotel. Everything was sanitized. They didn't come into your rooms unless you requested items to be brought or you had any kind of issues. Everybody was very conscientious, so I was very pleased and look forward to attending in May. As I said, we met in person and virtually on both Friday and Saturday. We had our international individuals were board directors was not able to get into the country, and so they were online with us as well. We conducted as our leadership training on Friday an Athenian dialogue. Some of you took Sully with me in Florida, and we presented Sully to the board on Friday. and to some of our staff members. And then on Saturday, we conducted our mid-year board meeting, and here are the key highlights from that. We approved the $5 membership due increase for full members, additional full members, and associate members. We anticipate the increase to come with the first batches of invoices that will be arriving January of 2021. So we have not had an increase in 3 years and believe that to be prudent at this time. And so that was unanimously approved. Also, the Education and Professional Development Committee, we have been reviewing a proposed Beyond the MNC program. We were going to discuss it back in May during our board meeting and decided to defer that to November. We did receive the information from them, and the board reviewed those recommendations from the Educational Task Force, as well as a separate report of recommendation that was given by Region 9, which is your California, Oregon, Washington, Alaska region. And all of that information, we requested that it be provided to the Education and Professional Development Committee for further review. We had received in May a recommendation for virtual Athenian dialogues, and that initial decision was to go through November into January, reviewing that process as a board, as well as for the Education Development Committee. And at the meeting in November, we voted to extend the virtual dialogues through June 30th of 2021. So we're excited about that. Being a facilitator, I was a little hesitant at first, but they have seemed to work well. The objective is making sure we can see everybody's faces and that we're making sure that all the participants are engaged and involved in the dialogue, because that means you've read the book and you're discussing the book. So we will continue those through June 30th of 2021 at this time. The board voted to direct the policy committee to create a new policy regarding an IIMC employee recognition program, to create a new process for an annual business meeting if it cannot be held in person, and to clarify language regarding retired member definition. We do have one outstanding constitutional item that would have been taken up in May in St. Louis regarding the removal of a requirement for a written letter of support by a member from his or her state association if they are planning to run for region director. So that has not been voted on yet. And my belief is it would be on the agenda for Grand Rapids for approval or for a vote at the annual meeting. We approved the 2020 budget, making it 12 consecutive years that the IIMC's budget is in the positive. That is a major task for us, and it's just a wonderful feeling to know that we are in the positive, in the black with our budget. We approved the 2021 budget. It is scheduled to end in a deficit. However, the board has directed staff to search for ways to amend that deficit as we go into 2021. We also approved the 2019 annual CPA partial audit that was presented to us during the mid-year meeting. We are currently without a director of professional development. And at this time, that was a position that was filled by Dr. Jane Long from Illinois, for any of you who have met her before. At this time, we hope to have someone in place following the 2021 annual conference somewhere around July. So we look forward to bringing a new staffer on board at that time. The meeting also focused on managing options for the 2021 conference, providing educational programs for Region 10 and 11 via virtual platforms in case they cannot get into the country, and for planning future annual conferences if we were to run into the same scenario we have this past year. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced us to cancel the 2020 St. Louis conference, we have maintained our membership and the membership engagement. So we are thrilled and excited about that. That is the update that we have as to the mid-year meeting. Do we have any questions regarding any of this information? I don't see any hands raised. So I will turn it back over to Ms. Sonia.
Thank you, Camilla. That was a very in-depth update from what's been going on. I want to talk just briefly about what was said at the mid-year meeting about the 2021 annual meeting for Grand Rapids. Right now, IMC is still working and trying to figure out whether we'll have an in-person conference or if we'll have to go virtual. And I can assure you that they are prepared either way. They have worked out arrangements with the hotel where if we are unable to hold it there, we can hold it at a later date. But it's not a lot to update without getting into the nitty-gritty stuff, other than we have not received any information on the annual conference yet because of COVID. IMC will not cancel the conference unless the hotel tells us that because of COVID, they are under new restrictions. So just stand by and be looking in your email boxes. They do send out a handful of paper type programs or whatever, but as soon as they get the information, which they're hoping to have by next month, well, January, well, yeah, that's next month. If not, again, they will let us know exactly what's going on. So with that said, if nobody has any questions, Camilla will now give an update on the Region 3 conference.
I do want to follow up on the annual conference. Everyone should have received, if you've been in the last few years to an annual conference, you should have received the brochure last week. And then also information was provided regarding links to register for the 2021 conference. But we are live with that at this time, and people are registering. And thus the reason we have the 120 hotel rooms that are reserved to date. So we're encouraging anyone and everyone who is interested in attending, go ahead and begin registration now if you haven't already. And if something were to come up, as Sonia has shared, then I know I just got off the phone with Miss Janice, and I had carried over my registration from St. Louis. And so she has applied that registration to Grand Rapids. And so if something similar were to happen, then she would do the same thing this coming year for the 2022. So I had no problems working with her with that and registering for 2021 in Grand Rapids. Karen, are we missing anything else that you know of regarding the annual at this time? Since I've got you online, I'm going to use you, okay?
Sounds good, but I think you hit all of the high points.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you. Regarding the Region 3 meeting, I received an update yesterday. You should have received, if you're keeping up with our Facebook or receiving notifications from IIMC, we sent out a save the date card for the Region 3 meeting, which is going to be held virtual. So we are still, if any, y'all are Florida, if you know anything about North Carolina, they have a very, very conservative governor. And so they have been working and trying to determine what to do for the Region 3 meeting. We are virtual. I will give you a confirmation that I participated in the annual meeting for North Carolina Association of Municipal Clerks back in August. I was the last one on the agenda to do an hour session, and there were 200 plus individuals still online. So I was on their conference on and off throughout the meeting, throughout the couple of days. and they seem to do a really good job with that. So I have no doubt that they will do a great job with a virtual meeting in February. Please mark your calendars. The official dates are February the 17th through the 19th. There will be an opinion dialogue that will be offered on February 16th. I will go ahead and tell you what that is. It's the Girls of Atomic City, dealing with Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So if you're interested in that, you will want to make sure and jump on when registration comes online, because it is only for 30 participants, 30 attendees. The information that I have from them from a phone call yesterday was that they have finalized everything with their hotel arrangements. Their objective was to get out of that contract, and they have moved their hotel to another state conference. So that's good for them. They are working on the agenda at this time. Today would have been our deadline date for our Region 3 newsletter. We're going to hold up on that until next week, and we're hoping that they will have the registration information available at that time. I am unable to give you a cost for that. They are, again, working through the process and hope to have that for us next week. So we will provide that information as soon as possible. Keep an eye on our Facebook page, IMC Region 3, and we will post that as soon as we can. Any questions regarding the region meeting? Okay, I don't see any hands for that. However, Miss Sonia, I think I see Miss Mary online with us.
All right. Well, Miss President Mary, would you like to say a few words?
I would. Thank you for the invite, and I apologize for hopping on late, but I had another virtual meeting here at work, so I finished that up and I had time. I thought I'd just stop in and say hello and hope everyone is doing well and staying safe and had a good Thanksgiving holiday. And I'm also hoping that you received your preliminary conference program for Grand Rapids next May and you registered. And if you haven't, I hope you do it soon. It's going to be a great conference. We're moving forward with it. We're going to be there. It's going to happen, and we're going to have a great time celebrating our 75th anniversary. So look forward to seeing all of you there.
Does anybody have any questions while we've got President Mary online with us that you'd like to ask her? I know it's been an unusual year for Mary this year, and she's such a trooper. And we're just so appreciative of everything you are doing, Mary, and doing the online video sessions. So I don't know if you'll have any others coming up soon, but if you have an opportunity to check her out on Facebook, make sure, or you get notice of sessions that are coming up, to have coffee or tea with Mary, please sign up to participate on those sessions with her. Wonderful lady I've gotten to know over the years, and just so appreciative of your leadership, especially at this time.
Thank you, Camilla. I appreciate that. And we are, the executive committee is hoping to plan a holiday happy hour in the next week or two. So be looking for that as well. It's just going to be fun. Just have a good time and celebrate the holidays, celebrate being clerks, whatever. We're going to celebrate. So be looking for that.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Mary.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Sonia?
Next, we've got the reminders. I think you had a list of reminders for everybody, Camilla.
Okay. Do you see anyone has any questions of us?
I think everybody's trying to get us off so they can go back to work.
Okay, very quickly, the reminders that we wanted to share with you that's coming up, we hope you'll take advantage of, is we do have the IIMC annual conference grants, and the deadline date for those applications are February 12th, 2021. I don't know about Sonia, but I know I have been fortunate to receive one of those registration grants before. And so I strongly encourage you to apply for those. And you too could receive a grant, and it could certainly help you financially in attending our annual conference. There are CMC and MMC scholarships that we want to remind you of, and the recipients receive up to $400 for reimbursement in completing the program. So the applications will be accepted through March of 2021, and the recipients are usually reviewed and selected in April for funding to take place between June 1st and May 31st of 2022. So that's another great opportunity for you to take advantage of scholarships that are available through our IIMC Foundation. The other item we wanted to remind you of is it's that time of year for committee applications. Usually those are accepted through January, and I don't have the updated date for that, but it is a wonderful opportunity to apply and to serve on one of our committees and to learn more about IIMC, to enlarge your networking territory, and to make a difference in our professional organization. So if you haven't had the opportunity to serve before, we want to really encourage you to participate by applying for one of the committees and serving on that committee. If you have any questions, and Sonia or I, or we've got Pamela online too, would be more than happy to provide information and updates on that. Most importantly, we want to make sure you're receiving your email digest, which is the bi-monthly magazine from IIMC, and that you are receiving your e-briefings, which are weekly emails we get from IIMC. If you're not doing that, Karen, are you the contact person for that? So we've got the expert online. If you're not receiving those, or you know of another clerk in your state or in your area, I know y'all have districts that are not receiving them, please pass that information along to Karen. Please make sure to like us on Facebook, IIMC. It's spelled out International Institute of Municipal Clerks, and our IIMC Region 3, and that is IIMC. It's not spelled out for Region 3. But if you're not a member of there, that's where we put our notices and we get our updates, and especially those who are receiving their certifications. We want to recognize them and congratulate them. And so if you're not a member of those sites on Facebook, please, we encourage you to sign up. And again, we anticipate releasing our Region 3 newsletter, hopefully next week, once we get our Region 3 conference information added to that quarterly newsletter. We send those out in April, August, and December of each year. So those are just reminders, and that keeps you up to date on what's going on in Region 3 and IIMC. Any questions from anyone or any comments before we close out?
I have added my email address in case anyone is not receiving communications. It is my first name, Karen, at iimc.com.
Okay. Thank you for doing that, Karen. Ms. Sonia, you have any other comments?
I was thinking, as you mentioned it, do we want to promote the YouTube with instructions on how to navigate the applications for IMC and MMC?
We want to promote it with this recording.
Right.
Okay. I can tell you once again, we are recording these sessions. We have 3 today, and the biggest reason is it was just a suggestion that I offered because we're the largest region in IIMC, and because number 2, is number 3, Florida is number 2, North Carolina is number 3. That was going to put a lot of people on the same call at one time. And so I thought it might be best to divide up our region into 3 different meetings, which is what we've done. And so Karen is recording these meetings for us, and we will be making at least one of them available on our website. So if you know of anyone who was unable to join us today, we hope to have a video up in the next day or two and have it available for any of our membership in Region 3 to be able to view the video and to receive this update. Okay. I don't have anything else, Miss Sonia. Do you?
Well, then, no, we stand adjourned.
All right, then it's 2:30. Thank y'all for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on Zoom for Region 3 in February and hopefully live in Grand Rapids in May. It is our 75th anniversary, and it's an opportunity for us to celebrate with President Mary as she finishes out her term. And for Florida, I hope to see y'all in June in person at your annual conference. And Miss Deborah, thank you for keeping everything going down there as president this year. And we look forward to seeing all. Do you have anything you want to share real quick?
I gotta find the unmute button. I want to thank you, Carmela, for doing our Arthenian dialogue. It was awesome. Thank you very much. And I do hope we have an in-person session in June. I'm pushing for it. I really am.
You just let me know. I'm going to be there since we didn't get to be there this June. So I certainly enjoy visiting with all y'all. Okay. If there's no other comments, thank y'all so much. Sonia and I appreciate your support and of ourselves, of our region, and of IIMC. So thank y'all for joining us today. And we'll keep sending you those messages and keeping you apprised the best that we can. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Sonia or myself, and we'll be able to respond back to you. If we don't know the answer, we certainly will find it out for you. Okay. Thank y'all so much. Have a great day.